Flatliners is a 2017 American science fiction psychological horror film directed by Niels Ardenopleff and written by Ben Ripley. A standalone sequel to and remake of the 1990 film of the same name, it stars Elliot Page, Diego Luna, Nina Dobrev, James Norton, and Kiersey Clemens. The story follows 5 medical students who attempt to conduct experiments that produce near-death experiences. The film was released in the United States on September 29, 2017 by Sony Pictures and was panned by critics, who generally remarked that it repeated the problems of the original in failing to do justice to its interesting premise.
Plot.
Courtney is a medical student who is obsessed with the afterlife. She invites her classmates, Jamie and Sophia, to join her in an experiment in an unused hospital room, using defibrillation to stop her heart for 60 seconds while recording her brain. She assures them they would not be held responsible for any accidents. Sophia is against this, but Jamie does it anyway. After 60 seconds, they are unable to revive her until a fellow student, Ray, steps in to help. Marlo, another medical student, arrives and learns of the experiment. Courtney begins to recall experiences about increased intelligence and euphoria. Envious, Jamie flatlines and has a disturbing near-death experience as he meets his ex-girlfriend. Marlo and Sophia follow suit, increasing the duration of time they are down. During Sophia's turn, they are nearly caught and flee the hospital. The visions experienced by those who flatlined are: Courtney sees her sister Tessa, who died in a car crash Courtney caused. Jamie sees the baby he begged his ex-girlfriend to abort. Marlo sees a patient named Cyrus, who died when she accidentally mixed up his medication. And Sophia sees Irina, whose life she ruined out of spite, allowing Sophia to become valedictorian. Everyone keeps their visions to their individual selves. Courtney, traumatized by her visions, records a message apologizing and admitting that her interest in flatlining was due to the death of her sister, not for scientific discovery. She dies having been pushed off a fire escape by the ghost of her sister. The others are devastated. They think they may be implicated if their experiments are discovered. They attempt to clean Courtney's apartment of all evidence. Marlo goes to the morgue to find Courtney's phone, where she is disturbed by more visions. On his boat, Jamie again hears the cries of a baby and a woman weeping. He falls out of his boat and swims to the dock where a figure stabs his hand. Courtney's recording discloses they all had similar visions. They admit the mistakes they made and come to the conclusion that their haunting experiences are hallucinations owing to guilt from their sins, not the paranormal. The only one who did not flatline, Ray, initially disbelieves what is happening. Sophia's apology to Irina is accepted. Jamie discovers his ex-girlfriend has kept their baby and pledges to provide for his son. Ray and Marlo get into a fight when he uncovers her attempt at hiding Cyrus' cause of death, and she refuses to confess. Marlo hallucinates being suffocated while driving and crashes her car. Tired of being haunted by her hallucinations, Marlo flatlines on her own in the hope of asking Cyrus for forgiveness. She sees Courtney, who tells Marlo that she needs to forgive herself. Ray, Sophia, and Jamie arrive to resuscitate Marlo. Marlo confesses to the dean and is held on probation. Marlo, Ray, Sophia, and Jamie meet to reminisce about Courtney.
Cast.
Nina Dobrev as Marlo, 2. Elliot Page, as Courtney Holmes, 2. Diego Luna as Ray, 2. James Norton as Jamie, 2. Kiersey Clemens as Sophia Manning, 2. Kiefer Sutherland as Dr. Barry Wolfson / Nelson Rightby. Bo Murchoff as Brad, 5. Madison Bridges as Tessa Holmes. Miguel Anthony as Cyrus Gudgeon. Jenny Raven as Irina Wong. Charlotte McKinney as Olivia. Wendy Raquel Robinson as Mrs. Jean Manning. Steve Byers as Marlo's brother. Janet Porter as Dr. Rose. Jeremiah Surd as Dr. Valles. Production. In 2008, Michael Douglas and Steven Sisko attempted to reboot Flatliners as a television series. Douglas would produce the series while Sisko would handle writing duties. 6-7 development would officially shift from a TV series to a feature film in August 2011. Source code writer Ben Ripley was attached as screenwriter and Lawrence Mark would co-produce with Douglas. 8. By February 2013, Niels Ardenopleff was slated to direct. 9. Uplift aimed to have a more representative cast than its 1990 counterpart. 10. In October 2015, Elliot Page, A, was cast in the film. 11. In February 2016, Diego Luna was added. 12. With Nina Dobrev joining in April. 13. In May 2016, Kiersey Clemons and James Norton signed on for the film. 14. 15. In July 2016, it was announced that Kiefer Sutherland, who starred in the original, would return in the new film. 16. Sutherland later disclosed that he was reprising his role from the original film, adding that the new film is actually a sequel rather than a remake. 3. Despite the announcement, Sutherland played a character with a different name than in the original, with no reference to the specific events of the previous film. Citation needed. In July 2016, Charlotte McKinney also joined the cast. 17. Principal photography began in early July 2016 in Toronto. 18. 19. Ontario, primarily at Cinespace Film Studios' Kipling Avenue facility, and concluded on September 7. Citation needed. The film went into post-production on October 4. 20. Additional photography began in Toronto on July 24 and wrapped on August 1, 2017. 21. In his memoir Pageboy, Page described an unsafe and toxic work environment on set. During the filming of a car stunt involving Page and Kiersey Clemons, neither were allegedly given any restraints and had their concerns dismissed by the stunt coordinators. Page also detailed instances of racism toward Clemons by a crew member and queerphobia towards himself, notably from an unnamed head of production. 22. Nathan Barr composed the film score. The soundtrack was released by Sony Classical. Release. Flatiners was released by Sony Pictures, releasing on September 29, 2017. 23. It was previously scheduled to release on August 18, 2017. 24. Home media. Flatiners was released on digital HD on December 12, 2017, and on Blu-ray and DVD on December 19, 2017 in Canada, and on December 26, 2017 in the United States. 25. 26. Reception. Box office. Flatiners grossed $16.9 million in the United States and Canada and $28.1 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $45.2 million, against a production budget of $19 million. 27. In North America, the film was released alongside American-made and Till Death Do Us Part, as well as the wide expansion of Battle of the Sexes, and was projected to gross $8 to $12 million from 2,552 theaters in its opening weekend. 28. It ended up debuting to $6.6 million, finishing fifth at the box office. Even before factoring in inflation, the number was lower than the $10 million opening of the original film in 1990. 29. In its second weekend, the film dropped 42%, grossing $3.60 million. 30. Critical response. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 4% of 79 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 3.6/10. The website's consensus reads, Flatiners falls flat as a horror movie and fails to improve upon its source material, rendering this reboot dead on arrival. 31. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 27 out of 100, based on 20 critics, indicating generally unfavorable reviews.